What's a family dynamic that's becoming more common? Children growing up without grandparents and mom and dads not having the support system of their own parents. A new book is looking at why, and it's called Parentless Parents. Joining us this morning is author Allison Gilbert.
Good
Allison,
morning.
welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you have a journalistic background.
Yes.
And so tell us what kind of research went into this.
Well, it's my own story, too. I lost both of my parents, and I have 2 kids. But beyond my own story, I did lots of one-on-one interviews. I did focus groups, and I launched the first ever survey of its kind to get the real quantitative data as well, because it hasn't not been studied as a population. And women, as you know, are having babies so much later. So the family dynamics in this country are completely changing, and grandparents are not as common as you would think for kids.
And you talk about the grandparent gap.
Yes. Well, the grandparent gap is actually really interesting. Researchers for years have studied the impact grandparents have on kids. Cognitively, behaviorally, socially, these wonderful additions to our family have a great impact. So my book talks about, well, what if you don't have that?
Right.
What is the impact of not having grandparents have on kids, and also the parents who are raising them?
And how about the I factor?
The I factor is all about the parent. What does a parent miss? What is irreplaceable? I stands for irreplaceable. What is irreplaceable when you don't have your parents to be a resource to you? One good example is that when my daughter was really young, she was 3, she started to stutter. I was really nervous. My husband and I were heartbroken. It was really hard to hear her stammer. But what made it worse for me, because he has his parents as a resource, is that I stuttered when I was a kid. And I couldn't ask my mom, and I couldn't ask my dad, well, how did you help me? Because certainly that kind of information is so personal, I couldn't read that in a parenting book.
Well, one of the wonderful things that you cover in the book is how to keep a grandparent's memory alive.
Yeah.
So the first one being a memory journal, which I love that idea.
Well, the memory journal, I think the book has a lot of fun and creative ways of keeping the memory of your parents alive. So the memory journal, it gives you prompts. These are the physical traits that remind me most when I look at you of your grandma and grandpa. Those kind of prompts to help you have a conversation with your children, because sometimes it's hard to know what to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And then cooking crafts projects.
Well, for sure. I mean, these are all age appropriate, these are fun, these are exciting, these are really interactive. And if you cook with your kids a favorite recipe, but not just present it to them to eat, but actually have them slice and dice and chop and cook, it really helps things be much more fun and creative.
And then field trips?
Well, one of the most fun things I think you could do with your kids is physically take them on fun field trips to where your parents grew up, the schools they attended, the places they worked. These are real-life, tangible experiences, and we all know children learn a lot more from doing than just by talking over and over again about stories. So if you do something with your kids, I find that to be a really effective tool.
Allison, thank you very much. And it's great because it's also an issue that sometimes you don't think about it until it's too late. You know, so to do these things now.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the book, again, Parentless Parents, it's now available. For more information, head over to our website, cbsnewyork.com. We're back in a moment.